this video, we will tackle about note-taking and using graphic organizers to understand a talk. Now let us first discuss what is note-taking. Note-taking is the act or process of writing down information. Note-taking will help you retain the information as well as have a written record of the necessary details about the topic discussed in a talk. Note-taking while listening is significantly different from taking down notes while reading. These differences include the following. Note-taking while listening, you cannot pause the lecturer, speech, or discussion to go over information you have not fully understood. When you need to look up information, you have to make a note and look it up later on. And you cannot pause or stop the lecturer, speech, or discussion if you fall behind on taking down notes. Note-taking while reading, it is easy to stop and reread something if needed. When you need to look up information, you can do so right away, and you can read and take down notes at your own pace. There are various methods that you may use for note-taking. First is outlining. This involves illustrating the framework or development of ideas in a text. It uses indentation to denote the level of importance of information. This method is great for organizing ideas, but it requires more thought and is not the best method to use if the lecture or listening text is too fast. Next is mapping. This involves creating a graphic representation of the content of a lecture, discussion, speech, or other text. This method makes it easy to illustrate the connection between ideas. Third is charting. This involves classifying information and noting them down in several columns. This will be particularly helpful when the lecture format is distinct and the ideas discussed can be classified into several categories. So once you have made a table and written the headings, you can just note down information under each category. Last but not the least, sentence method. This involves writing every new thought, fact, or detail on a separate line. Sentence method also allow you to write much information down, but the connection or relationship between ideas will not be readily apparent when you look at the notes you took down using this method. So here are some tips that may help you out when you need to note down information while listening. First is be an active listener. So make a conscious effort not only to hear what the speaker is saying, but also to fully understand his or her message. Second, be selective in noting down information. Do not write down everything you hear. Write down only the most important points. You may also list down just the keywords or phrases. Third, be as specific and as concrete as possible. Try to be as precise as you can in noting down details, so this would make the information easier to understand. Be attentive to the speaker's nonverbal cues. A speaker's gestures, intonation, and even pauses can signal important information. Lastly, avoid distractions. If possible, sit up front or as near to the speaker as you can so that you can see and hear him or her better. Focus on the information as you listen to it and make it a point not to entertain distractions. The Cornell method is one way to take down notes. It involves dividing your paper into 3 parts. So as you can see, the first part is the big space where the note should be written. It must be filled with important information and the details of the talk. The column on the left is reserved for writing annotations such as your questions about the topic. Lastly, the space at the bottom is reserved for the summary of the information. Aside from Cornell method, you may also use graphic organizers to arrange the information you obtain from a talk. Using graphic organizers class is beneficial because of the following reasons. First, they make it easy to understand the relationship between ideas. Second, they reflect the way the speaker presented the information. And third, they help a listener visualize the information and relate it to other concepts. Common types of graphic organizers. The first one is the Venn diagram. This is used for comparison and contrast. So you can see in the example, the similarities are written on the part of the circle that overlap, while their differences or qualities unique to the thing or concept are written on the sections that do not overlap. Next is idea trail. This is composed of several boxes that are linked together. So it shows the order of ideas as they were presented by the speaker. This is particularly appropriate for organizing the steps or stages in a process. Third is the mind map. This may also be referred to as a concept map. This type of graphic organizer shows how other ideas are related to the main topic of the talk. So this is a mind map. A mind map is particularly helpful in presenting information about a topic with several subtopics. So the main idea is placed in the middle of the graphic organizer, while the subtopics and supporting ideas are placed around the main idea and are connected to it using lines. Lastly, the fishbone diagram. Like the mind map, a fishbone diagram can be used to present ideas regarding a topic with several subtopics. It may also be used for organizing information that relates to the causes and effects of a particular occurrence. It may also be used for organizing